Every story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. In our major story, federal government, states issue red alert as Ebola spread panics Nigeria. Also in this program, Nasarawa lawmakers reject impeachment probe panel's verdict on Governor Tanko Amakura. Soldiers disperse pro-Rauf Aregbesola rally by organized labor in Osun ahead of the August 9 election. And outside Nigeria, Red Cross banks on experience to help stop Ebola spread. Good evening and welcome. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. The federal government is moving to collaborate with state and local authorities in a bid to check the spread of Ebola virus disease in the country. Information Minister Labaret Marco told journalists after the Federal Executive Council meeting that the government wants states to take preventive measure against the virus. The meeting also considered a national response to the disease, which has now claimed its first Nigerian victim.
They must not wait until it comes into their borders. Every precautionary measure that should be taken by all the 36 states and the FCT must be taken. And one of such measures is to create the isolation camps in partnership with the Federal Ministry of Health, under the leadership of the Federal Ministry of Health. In addition to preparing the personal protective equipment, for health workers, and also to prepare the medical personnel in every state and set up units where we should prepare for any outbreak, the state governments have been told to create their own committees made up by the federal ministries by the state ministries of health, ministries of information, and other major stakeholders.
As at this morning, Nigeria has recorded 7 confirmed cases of Ebola virus disease. As at this morning, you recall that the first one was the index case, the imported case from Liberia, of which the victim is now late. And yesterday, the 5th of August 2014, the first known Nigerian to die of this disease was recorded. And this was one of the nurses that had attended to the Liberian. The other 5 cases that are Ebola positive are currently being treated at the isolation ward in Lagos. It is pertinent to note that all the Nigerians that have been diagnosed of this disease, the Ebola virus disease, so far, were actually primary contacts of the index case. These are people who had direct contacts with the Liberian. And there are still more of such people. Presently, as I speak, a total of 8 persons are in the isolation ward, of which 5 have already been confirmed as Ebola, and the other 3 are being investigated.
Meanwhile, the Lagos State Minister of Health says it is searching for other people who had secondary contacts with the victims of the Ebola virus in Lagos. Anita Fatsuji has details.
The Commissioner for Health, Jude Idris, gave an update on the contact tracing arising from the index case of the dead Liberian. He said a total of 70 persons were monitored, but 8 has been admitted and their blood samples taken.
Well, we don't want to appear to be harbinger of bad news, but there are certain things we need to do if we have to do such. You recollect again yesterday when we briefed you, and some people said that maybe we were holding information, and I said we were not holding information. This is just another update, because in the last 24 hours, there have been other developments. Like I did say again, based on the contract tracing arising from the index case that came into the country, that's the Liberian, we have been following up a total of 70 persons who have been primary contacts to that person. I think we're monitoring. Of these, currently, 8 have been admitted and blood samples taken. Results of 5 out of the 8 samples taken have been received, with 4 out of the 5 testing positive for Ebola. The results of the 3 are outstanding. Regrettably too, one of the 8 persons admitted died yesterday at 2:06 p.m., thus making deaths recorded on account of the Ebola outbreak in Lagos to amount to 2. That is yesterday's and the index case. Meanwhile, because of this, like I did say again, we've started secondary contact tracing. And I said this is also a tedious matter, but you have to take each one now and start finding out who are the people who could be possibly secondarily infected. That is the close contacts of all admitted, of those admitted. We've started that, and as at now, and as at yesterday, 27 of them have been identified, and we are still counting.
Idris added that more volunteers are urgently needed to curb the spread of the virus.
You agree with me that this situation is very dire, a very serious one. And more important, like I said yesterday, we need volunteers now, very extremely necessary, urgently needed, to assist us in tracking the contacts, and more importantly, to manage those cases that are already in isolation. If we want to give them a chance for life, they need to be properly managed. So we need doctors, we need nurses, environmental health workers, phlebotomists, etc., like we said yesterday.
He appealed to the striking doctors to return to work and help stop the spread. Idris revealed that the federal and Lagos state governments may introduce painstaking measures to help curtail the virus. Anita Fatunji, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Governors from the southwestern part of the country have appealed to the striking resident doctors to end the industrial action and join in the fight against the spread of Ebola disease. The governors called for a collaborative effort for all stakeholders to police all illegal borders leading into the country. They also enjoined Nigerians to pay more attention to personal hygiene in order to prevent the transmission of the virus.
What we must do more of, like hand washing, sanitation, and what we must do less of on hygienic and transmission practices. Large gatherings are things we must begin to rethink if we are not sure what the health conditions of those people are. There may be need to review our consumption of meat if we are not sure of where the source of the meat is from. We also have to review our cultural and religious beliefs about disposal of corpses. People should not be buried at home. People should not be buried in their backyard. We need to know why people died before they are buried.
Everybody should know that those who aid and abet illegal entry into Nigeria now could be up to something that will be very dangerous to the health of the country. So we out there must also, all Nigerians, the adjoining villages, everybody, we must be stakeholders in combating this new challenge that we have as a nation. That's very important for that message to also go out.
Our call on the enemy to, on purely humanitarian grounds. We don't want to deal with the details of what's responsible for the ongoing strike, but we're faced with a major challenge, which is an emergency in the country. An enemy would do well to exercise that aspect of their training as doctors, that Hippocratic oath that they've sworn to in order to help arrest this emergency that we're dealing with.
Also, Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola has tasked teachers and parents to prioritize the personal hygiene of their children as a way of preventing the spread of the deadly Ebola virus. Fashola gave the advice while addressing teachers at the 2014 Annual Governor's Education Award. The governor lamented the unfortunate outbreak of the disease in Lagos. He added that the best way to curb the spread of the disease is for parents to teach their children the habit of washing their hands regularly.
All of our children, all of our teachers will recall that since 2012, we had been very, very frontal in developing knowledge of personal hygiene and hand washing in our schools, and many of you have participated in it. I want to use this opportunity to say that this is the time to bring that knowledge back to currency, back to practice. As you are all at home, the obligation to wash your hands is not reduced. Now you would have heard that there's an outbreak of Ebola epidemic in the West African sub-region, and unfortunately, a patient had come into our state who was carrying the virus. Events have since developed. That patient has died, the Liberian patient. But what has happened is that the health workers who first attended to him without knowing the nature of his sickness were exposed to him. And so we have kept them in quarantine and we're observing them, and some of them have shown traces of the disease while we are still testing others.
In Kano, the state government has taken preventive steps by setting up an advisory committee on Ebola. It has also purchased 33 protective gears to be used by health workers in case of any emergency. Governor Rabi Kwakwazo said the measures were taken due to the influx of people to the state as a commercial center.
That will continue to do whatever we can to improve the lives of our people across Kano State. We'll continue to work on education, on agriculture, empowerment, and of course, the health of our people. I'm sure all of us are now aware that we have some serious health problems, especially these two diseases, polio, and of course now the issue of Ebola. Ebola, as we all know, has now been identified in Lagos, and of course, even before then, we have been preparing ourselves, especially that we have heard about it in some countries that are not far away from us. A committee was established under Dr. Nasir Mahmoud, of course, with many other professionals in that particular area. The committee has submitted its report to the council today. We have deliberated, and of course, we have taken some concrete measures to ensure that when it is prevented in this state, and in case it happens, God forbid, the state is very much ready because we have purchased various items that are associated with the virus or the Ebola disease.
Aware and also in line with the broadcast just made by His Excellency, the Executive Governor of the state. There has been an outbreak of Ebola virus in some West African countries, and unfortunately, last month also, a case was reported in Lagos. And today, we also had sad news that even one of the doctors and health workers that managed that patient had died. So Kano State has taken this very, very seriously. And in fact, we have started taking actions since 2 months ago to ensure that we are in a very sound state of preparedness in the state. We have carried a number of activities. We have mobilized the State Epidemic Preparedness and Response Committee, which is a multi-sectoral committee that has membership from across every stakeholder to meet regularly and be discussing. And one of the specific actions that we have taken include sensitization of health workers. As we know, health workers, they are the #1 risk group, because any sick person will go to health worker, and if the health worker is not aware or doesn't take the necessary precautions, will get the disease, like what happened in Lagos. We have also started to identify a suitable hospital that can be converted to an isolation center, where any suspected case can be taken there, can be managed safely. And then also a lot of public enlightenment activities have commenced, including the broadcast made by His Excellency the Governor. We have also...
And still on health matters, the federal government is set to recruit additional health workers to strengthen the team managing the Ebola situation in Lagos. Also, the health authorities are putting together a special team to provide counseling and psychosocial support for patients, identified contacts, and their families. This is in addition to procuring isolation tents for each state of the Federation.
One of the immediate challenges we have now is the need to recruit more personnel. And we're also trying to ensure that these personnel are motivated enough to go. So the head of civil service of the Federation was directed during the FEC to immediately work with the Ministry of Health, and he has promised immediately also that as soon as he receives the letter from the Ministry of Health, he will surely approve the required number of personnel so that they can be immediately recruited and deployed. It's very urgent. we need to do that very urgently. We are also making arrangements. We've not procured yet, but we started the procurement process to procure isolation tents to quicken the pace of providing isolation wards in all states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. This has
We'll take a break now from health to bring you some political stories, starting from update on the impeachment in Nasarawa. But that will be shortly after this break. Don't go away.
Nivea Nourishing Body Lotion. Its effective formula with Hydro IQ gives your skin deep and long-lasting nourishment for skin that stays moisturized all day long. Look great, feel great, with deeply nourished skin. Nourishing Body Lotion from Nivea.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Welcome back. The Nasarawa State House of Assembly has rejected the verdict of the 7-man panel that dismissed its allegations against Governor Tanko Amakura. Chairman of the House Committee on Information and Security, Babai Bako, said there was no going back on the impeachment move against the governor. He said the panel set up by the Chief Judge Umaru Diko to investigate 16-count charge against the governor breached Section 188, subsection 5 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. He therefore described the sitting of the panel as illegal. Ibaku said the lawmakers did not know whether there was any sitting of the panel on Tuesday or not. Ibaku said Governor Amakura has been using the instruments of state powers to the disservice of the people. The Labour Union's rally, meant to take place at the Nelson Mandela Freedom Park in Osogbo, was truncated by stern-looking soldiers who condoned the area and dispersed the rally intended to endorse Governor Rauf Aregbesola for second term. Rashid spoke with some Labour leaders in Osogbo and filed in their support.
Joint Labour Union rally organized by Osun State Chapter of the Nigeria Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress billed to hold at the Nelson Mandela Freedom Park in Osogbo did not hold. A deployment of Nigerian soldiers prevented the union members from using the venue A Labour leader, Oyebade Olugboyega, recounted their ordeal.
We got to the Freedom Park, and unfortunately we saw the military men occupying our tent and occupying our seat and asking us to turn away. I'm not aware that he gave any order. There are some people now that might have given certain orders that may not be known to us. It's an infringement of our own rights to peaceful assembly.
Spokesperson for the movement against electoral fraud, Taiwo Otitolaye, says the action of the soldiers indicates that they are biased.
The militarization of Ekiti elections where people in their various houses were beaten, tortured, arrested, and their phones seized to prevent outside contact until elections were concluded has resurfaced in Osun.
Otitolaye called on all and sundry not to be afraid of the heavy presence of military in the discharge of their civic responsibility.
The movement against electoral fraud has called on Osun electorates to ignore all forms of intimidation as employed by the Jonathan backward regime to come out en masse on August 9, 2014, to cast their votes on issue-based political participation.
The Labour leader says stopping the planned rally indicates danger if the trend is not stopped.
We should not make the prophecy of Kamara Laye in the book The Guardian of the World, when he said that African politicians make politics a bloody massacre and they make non-Africans to laugh at the maturity of Africa. I don't want that prophecy to come to pass, particularly in the case of Osun.
The union leaders say they are not satisfied with the reasons given by the military for dispersing the rally. Rashid, CoreTV News, Osogbo.
Nigerians continue to travel
the city of Lagos
there is still a poor level of
Be the first to know from the north, south, east, west, and around Africa. We break the news.
One Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are CoreTV News.
Welcome to CoreTV,
24-hour news station.
We sincerely apologize for the poor audio quality earlier on. The acting Inspector General of Police, Sulaiman Abba, is facing as forced involvement in Nigeria's election as the #1 policeman in the country. Visiting the Osun State Command ahead of the Osun governorship election, Abba charges men of the police force to discharge their duties diligently and be civil enough or face tough sanctions. Rashid was there and brought back this report.
The Inspector General of Police, Sulaiman Abba, led all the top brass of the police to the State Police Command to charge the police drawn across the country ahead of the August 9 election. Ibrahim received in a warm welcome in what happens to be his first official election outing. Abba, with the grin on his face, admonishes the police to be civil in the discharge of their duties during the election.
I want you to be mindful of the fact that someone can easily deceive you. He can. Why? Before you know it, you go and commit an offense. In fact, the election cannot be fair. The election cannot be free. Therefore, if you see anybody trying to disrupt the election, arrest him.
The 17th Indigenous Inspector General vowed to deal with any police caught in the act of corruption.
Anyone who engages in any of the things I said, or he helps any of the political party or anybody to commit other offenses, including you assist someone to carry arms, or you assist someone to display his party logo. And the problem is that, let me tell you where the problem is. It is not just where you are doing the work. If you do it within 300 meters radius of that polling unit, the law will catch up with you.
Abba, however, assured the highly motivated policemen of proper welfare during and after the election, promising to give a new face to the police in Nigeria.
Things that make you earn commendation when you go out to perform, those things that make you perform excellently there, he will make sure that they are here so that you do excellently.
The Nigerian police have been congratulated for their professional role in Ekiti election, and Nigerians are looking forward for a repeat of the feat in Osun. Rashid, CoreTV News, Osogbo.
Also, the Independent National Electoral Commission says the commission will ensure a transparent election in the August 9 governorship election. INEC made the commitment at the stakeholders meeting on the governorship election. Frank Omolape was there and fathomed this report.
Present at the stakeholders meeting is the INEC chairman, Tahir Jega, royal fathers, party candidates and security agencies. The stakeholders meeting addressed some issues that are usually associated with the election processes. Some of the issues raised is late arrival of materials and electoral offences committed by party members and agents. INEC chairman Tahir Jega says the commission is working to ensure that Osun governorship poll is tagged as one of the best in recent times.
August 9 election, we will do our best to ensure a level playing field for every candidate, for every party, for every contestant. We will be non-partial, we will be non-partisan, we will be impartial, and we have required all our staff to do so. And God willing, it will come to pass.
Jega also sued for peace among all political parties and stakeholders in the coming poll.
We still have serious concerns related to thuggery and other untoward activities on election day. But the challenges are still there, and we must not rest on our oars in trying to ensure that elections are conducted peacefully under an atmosphere which will enable voters to come out and exercise their civic duties.
On his part, the acting Inspector General Police, Sulaiman Abbas, says he is working with all necessary security agencies to ensure a peaceful conduct.
We will also ensure that the over 1.4 million voters in the state have the free atmosphere and conducive environment to go and exercise their civil rights that day.
The meeting took another turn when an APC chieftain says he will ensure he protects his voting slip by taking a picture of it. The INEC chairman, however, condemned the act, saying it is illegal.
When you give me my ballot, it is my ballot as a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And when I take the picture, I do not interfere with the right of any other Nigerian. I am simply for my own sake and for my grandchildren.
I advise that nobody should attempt to take a photograph of the ballot paper. Please, I refer you to the provisions of the law. It is illegal. INEC is mandated to protect the secrecy of the vote.
Well, with the conclusion of stakeholders' meetings ahead of the Saturday's election, all stages now set for what analysts describe as a historic election that might change the trend of politics in Osun State. Frank Omalape, CoreTV News, Osogbo.
A coalition of non-governmental organizations, the Transition Monitoring Group, has faulted the massive security presence in Osun State ahead of Saturday's governorship election. The group cited the experience of its observers during recent elections in Ekiti State to emphasize its concerns. TMG Chairman Ibrahim Zikirulai made the statement shortly after the coalition issued a final report on the June 21 elections in Ekiti.
While we need security, we also need massive security that was deployed in Ekiti, and the security also need to be better coordinated, because if you know, the army was there, all kind of security was there. So you don't even know who they are taking instructions from. And this resulted even in one incident in which some army personnel beat up a police DPO in Ekiti when they asked him for identification, even while he was on uniform. He said then he was hesitative. Then they decided to lash out at him. Then before he quickly present the identification. So I think such does not present a good image for the security in Nigeria.
The former Commissioner for Works, Sheye Ogunlewe, and members of the People's Democratic Party paid a reconciliatory visit to Bode George, a PDP stalwart in Lagos. The party leaders say the visit signifies a divine relationship and unity in Lagos State.
Okay. When you say unity, you mean unity and you move forward. Unity never goes backward.
God didn't tell us that we will never have storm. But even in that storm, if you still trust Him, all will be well. So what we have been able to do today, we had gone into a deeper introspection.
The police have paraded the suspected Boko Haram chief butcher, Zakari Mohammed, to prove that he is still in custody. The suspect was arrested in the aftermath of a counter-terrorism operation in Bambo Forest in Bauchi State in July, but there were rumors that he had escaped. The police quickly reacted by dispelling the claim and paraded the suspect at a detention facility in Abuja.
You will recall that on the 15th of July, 2014, the Police High Command issued a press statement wherein we announced the arrest of a high-profile terrorist by name Zakari Mohammed. Zakari Mohammed was arrested by police operatives on the fringes of the Bama Forest. And since he was taken into custody, investigation coupled by revelations from the suspect has investigations coupled by revelations by the suspect have clearly shown that he's an active participant in so many terrorist operations. His area of specialty is butchering of human beings.
He say his real name is Zakaria Mohammed, and also they know him with Ardo. Jirim ni afunola kanula nyamula yorobala jirim.
Yeraba.
No, jirim asalim.
Yeraba de.
Ni kam yero ya? Yo yero ambia.
Bao.
Sam daw.
Sa nyindi.
Sanum asalin daw.
Oh, Talatin.
He said he is 30 years old. He is an indigenous of Kayamari in Bauchi State. He said he started this terrorism at Daura, that is in Bauchi State. He belongs to a group of 5 people. Hassan, Garba, Mohammed, Isawa, with him making 5. He said out of the 5, his duty is to slaughter after when the other 4, their duty is to tie the victim whenever they got victim. Meaning, he said it took him only 2 minutes to slaughter human being.
New boost for energy infrastructure in Nigeria and Africa. Find out more on the business news shortly after this break. Stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Glad to have you join us on another edition of The Political Arena, the most detailed and incisive political show.
If you are a sitting governor and the opposition is able to stomach structure against you, that means you are wicked to the people. The end of the attack and the legitimate authority to govern this country.
They gave me 20 minutes to move or they will shoot me.
He has no chance for survival. If he likes himself, this is the best time to get out before he perishes.
The PDP as a ruling party has failed.
So anybody who thinks that government will fold his hands and allow miscreants to take over the streets of Osun State and cause havoc is deceiving himself.
The good, bad, ugly and beautiful sides of the Nigerian political system. Join me every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. on CoreTV News.
Hello there and welcome to Business News with me, Sabena Izoku. Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, has partnered Blackstone Group and Carlyle Group LP, the world's two biggest private equity firms, to invest in energy infrastructure in Nigeria and Africa. The federal government is considering offering gas fields to power sector investors to boost electricity generation and end chronic power shortages in the country. Dangote says in an interview that he struck separate agreements with the private equity firms to invest a combined $5 billion by 2019 with New York-based Blackstone in power projects. It is estimated that Nigeria needs an annual investment of $3.5 billion to achieve its generation capacity target of 40,000 megawatts by 2020. Nigeria's current peak grid power generation stands at about 3,849 megawatts with per capita electricity usage of 136 kilowatts per hour. This compares with an average per capita electricity usage of 4,803 kilowatts per hour in South Africa, which generates about 41,000 megawatts. The IMF, International Monetary Fund, projects 7.3% growth for Nigeria in 2014, up from 6.4% last year. Finally, the 220 billion naira Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Fund launched last year by the Central Bank of Nigeria is almost ready for disbursement to the subsector through eligible financial institutions. The Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele confirmed the statement during the signing of Memorandum of Understanding by the Central Bank of Nigeria State and Microfinance Banks in Abuja. Meanwhile, microfinance banks as well as deposit money banks are already warming up to access this fund for non-lending to the clients. In order to ensure the attainment of its goal, the Central Bank of Nigeria says it will be committing considerable human, material and financial resources to monitor both the disbursement and utilization of these funds in a robust and verifiable manner. The effort, he says, is in furtherance of the bank's earlier endeavor at establishing 6 entrepreneurship development centers in each geopolitical zone to support the mandate of the 23 industrial development centers under the purview of the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency, SMEDAN. Increased liquidity inflow into Nigerian equities, particularly in favor of bellwether stocks, has failed to secure the stock market from stumbling. The recent bearish mood on the market has been attributed by many analysts to unimpressive half-year results, which they said sparked sell-off by investors along with the share price decline in bellwether stocks. Market analysts, though, did not rule out the possibility of speculators latching on to the recent price-down stocks to increase their holding in some counters for future gain. The large capital consumer goods firms have seen modest pressure on volumes due to distribution challenges and pressured consumer wallets, thus having less investment attractions for investors at current valuation. The trend watched in the past 7 months shows that money flows into large capital stocks fail to save the market as majority of the stocks values hemorrhaged. And on the stock market report, equity transaction on the Nigerian Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today. The Nigerian Stock Exchange All Shares Index appreciated by 46.89 points to close higher 42,339.86 basis points. Market capitalization increased by 0.11% to close higher at 13.981 trillion naira. In all, a total of 324 million shares valued at 4.87 million naira were exchanged in 5,736 deals. Report shows that Mobil PLC topped the gainers chart, followed by Julius Berger PLC, and NFM PLC, Better Glass PLC, and CCNN PLC. On the other hand, MRS Oil PLC led the losers chart, followed by Waco PLC, Dangote Summit PLC, Guinness PLC, and Stanbic IBTC PLC. Meanwhile, here are the top 5 trades. And that's it on business news. Coming up next is sport news with Brownson Uwana. Please stay with us.
Nigerians continue to
travel
the city of Lagos waits and dark as all routes
to you on
Be the first to know.
on CoreTV News
From the north, south, east, west, and around Africa, we break the news.
We are one Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are CoreTV News.
Welcome to CoreTV.
A 24-hour news station.
Very big thanks for joining us on Sport News tonight. I am Brownson Wana. Nigeria Super Falcons will take on Mexico in their first group match at the Mountain Stadium in the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. The Super Falcons came of age in the last 2 tournaments, both times making it to the semi-finals, and were runners-up in 2010, losing 2-0 to host Germany. Nigeria is grouped with England, Korea Republic, and Mexico. Meanwhile, head coach of the Nigerian Under-20 women team, Peter Dedevo, is confident his team will produce good results that would marvel the world. And away from that to some results in the Nigerian Professional Football League games. Nigerian Professional Football League leaders, Kano Pillars, today maintained their top spot with a 3-1 win over Giwa FC at the Kano Stadium. Enyimba International were 2-0 better than Sunshine Stars. Sharks FC were 2-0 better than Bayelsa United. Lembe City had a 2-1 victory over Rangers International. Wariwu fell apart to El Kanemi Warriors. Habia Warriors tried, but Kaduna United were 3-2 better than them on the night. Nasarawa United had a 2-0 victory over FC Taraba. Akwa United lost 0-2 to Gombe United, while Lobby Stars produced the only away win of the night with a lone goal over home side Crown FC. And finally on sport news tonight, English referee Howard Webb has quit his position as a professional football referee. After a very long spell, the Webb officiated 500 Premier League games and Football League matches at the 2010 FIFA World Cup final. The former police officer began his career in 1989, progressing through northern countries and Football League to become a selected group referee in 2013. That's a wrap on Sport News tonight. I am Bronson Wana. A very big thanks for watching. Nifemi Ogunto is standing with the rest of the news.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News. a 24-hour news station. Outside Nigeria, the new global head of the Red Cross, Held Assisi, says that the world must learn from the fight against AIDS to help beat the deadliest ever outbreak of Ebola. While strict measures are needed to defeat Ebola in West Africa, dishing out blame will not help, says Held Assisi, chief of the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies.
Of the response to HIV, tuberculosis and malaria, and could be applied to the Ebola crisis is the simple fact that communities are part of the solution, and they are shouldn't be seen as a problem, but as a true part of the solution. Stigma and discrimination, often kill as much as viruses, because there's a self-stigma where then people will drive themselves underground, and then they have symptoms. They will not appear because they fear that they will be then discriminated against. There's also the attitude, that also can take away, people, carers and care providers, and then, the society at large, how they can perceive, those kind of diseases. I don't know yet. I don't know if it is going to be a global threat, or not. But fact of the matter is that we are living in a global world today, and then whatever is happening, in part of our globe, may be of concern of the entirety, of our planet. Ebola may be new in West Africa, but it is not new. So we are engaging already with those who had an experience with dealing with it in actual Congo, Zaire, and we will learn, from all those experiences. We also will work with institutions that are specialized, in tropical diseases and such type of crisis, on how can we best equip, the medical personnel to take care of their own duties without putting themselves, at risk. And even, the Red Cross and Red Crescent people who have to be engaging in those type of activities will not be allowed, to get in without proper equipment, proper training, and strict observance, of the attitudes and behaviors. With those measures, we do believe, that we can take care of the situation.
And that's been the show tonight. On behalf of the news crew, I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Thank you for being there.